It's the best of One Mic.
All I need is one mic.
What's the name of the show?
One Mic with Big Mike.
You know, ain't nobody getting hurt, ain't nobody, there's no crime being committed.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
This is real life stuff that's happened to me.
Well, you know what?
You, and you.
One Mic with Big Mike.
I like to be able to do what I want to do.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limits.
Meek Mill's concert is not called the Hell Yeah, I Bang Khloe Kardashian concert.
And now, your host.
Put your hands together for the one, the only
Big Mike.
I got the big homie, comedian, actor, activist. He's on Twitter and Instagram at Comedian Shang. Make sure you guys check out his website. I am Shang. Everybody give it up. Homie Shang's in the building.
Yo, what's going on, man? I'm glad you put in activist, man.
Yeah, man. I tried to study. You know what happened? Here's what happened. Like Renee says, how you feel about having Shang on the show? And I was like, who the hell is that? And then I Googled it, and I was like, oh, that dude. I've seen this dude on everything. He's a crazy-ass dude. Yeah, of course.
But that's weird, man. That's where I'm at right now. Like, I mean, some people recognize me when they see me, but most of the time it's like, who is it? Is it a Chinese dude? And then they see I'm not, and then they go, what? But, no, I know what you mean, man. But, it's funny. I saw that thing on BET with Jesse Williams, and he spit some, pro-black knowledge thing.
Yeah.
And it was funny that people were like, yo, man, he's like a younger you. It's like, people don't realize I've been in the mix with that for a long time. And it's just, it didn't get the same play. So now I think people are getting aware. And just like you said, Independence Day, it really ain't, that ain't for me either.
Right.
That was real what you said. What you said ain't for me. This independence from what? This? America need to get themselves together before they talk. That to me, at least.
Look, dog, like dudes out barbecuing and getting drunk today. Like Juneteenth was a few weeks ago. Crickets. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody do nothing. You know what I mean? Like that. If anything, yeah, that's the real day. But whatever. Yeah. Listen to it, man. So you travel the country, and this is what I was talking about earlier. I was talking about Kevin Durant and his move and all these things.
Oh man,
you ever
huge move.
You ever worked in OKC?
Yeah, I have definitely worked there.
You ever worked in the Bay Area?
Yeah, both.
Yeah, if you had a choice of which one to live in, where would you live in?
I would live in the Bay, but OKC was all right. It was the crowd was good. I stayed there for a day, but I'm telling you, I think that he's put a huge dent in OKC. Put a huge dent in it.
He's crippled them.
I think that. Yeah, and Sacramento is going to be even more difficult. But I don't know, man. Cleveland came back and, they got in that ass. I mean, let's be real. So, I still think it's going to be Cleveland. It's going to still be a powerhouse. Even with that.
I call them the get-back team. Like, Cleveland Steph and them boys got to get back at LeBron. KD got to get back at LeBron for a couple of years ago. So it's like the enemy of your enemy is my enemy. So let's join together and be friends. You know what I mean?
Somehow, let's get these dudes.
Right.
But that was one of those moves where now is he going to get the same kind of scrutiny that LeBron got?
That's funny.
LeBron got a lot of scrutiny.
But
they went in on him like, LeBron, I want to kill you. I want to rip your arm off and beat you with the wet part. I want to smack your family. I want to kick your kids down the steps. All that stuff. Well, KD get that. But
no, because you know how it goes. When you're the first, you get the most, right? So LeBron, it's like Hammer in the rap game, right? Remember Hammer was a sellout and, he get the gas face. And now, if you don't have endorsements, you whack. You know what I mean? That was the thing. Hammer was selling out and all that stuff back then, but he took it for everybody in the beginning. So everybody after him gets it pretty easy. So I think Kevin Durant's going to get it. He's gotten it easy so far. And I think he's going to get it even. I mean, they're going to hate a little bit today and be mad today. But then basketball's going to start. You understand what I'm saying? So whatever.
And you say, and then that'll all end.
Right.
And I don't know, man. I don't think he's going to get it at all. I think that they was already hating on LeBron. I think that, saying he's whiny, he's whatever. But he's a 3-time champion. So, whatever they want to think. But I think KD's going to get it a little bit, but not a lot.
Yeah, just a
He's
little.
going to get a lot of scrutiny. Yeah.
I
ain't mad at him. After basketball players play their heart out, I love the NBA. I'm more of a UFC. I like UFC and boxing. That's my number 1 and number 2 sports. But I'm telling you, basketball, I love basketball, but it's like, after they use you up, they don't care about you. So, I think you got to you got to think about yourself too. I mean, you think about the city, but you got to think about yourself too and your family.
Right. He's comedian, actor, activist. He's Shang at comedian Shang on Twitter and Instagram, and follow and check out his website, IamShang.com. Now, finish this sentence for me. Black/urban stand-up comedy in 2016 is
separated. It's
Word.
separated. Yeah, it's separated.
In what way?
I think that Hollywood only kind of picks a couple black comics at a time to elevate, and whereas they do with white comics, they'll elevate 20, 30 comics to put them in movies and films and stuff. Whereas then there's only like Kevin Hart, Mike Epps. There's other people like the Bruce Bruces of the world, but they pretty much elevate one or two of us at a time.
Yeah.
And so that's part of it. And in 2016, unfortunately, the black audience, it's us. Is we gravitate to the stuff that is not as positive for us. So if you're a comic that's trying to, spit a little knowledge out, don't get it wrong. I'm grimy as hell on stage.
Right.
I say I cuss, whatever. But I mean, I'm trying to drop knowledge throughout the set, and try to, big us up throughout the set. And I'm just not gonna get as much play as somebody be like, "Yo, I was smacking these hoes," and they gonna love them. And that's more us having a image of us. It's not necessarily just our fault, but we need to step up a little bit. So that's why I think about black comedy. And some reason black people think, and they say what you just said earlier. It's like they think if they don't know you, nobody knows you.
Yeah.
And that's not true. I mean, I got about almost 3 million followers.
Right.
So,
right.
yeah, so it's just I'm in a certain lane, you know what I'm saying? Certainly, like Public Enemy, if that's making me old school, it's not going to be in the same lane as Panda.
Yeah.
He's doing.
You're an idiot.
And that's a song, as opposed to Fight the Power and Lift Us Up. And black folks need to lift us up and love ourselves. You don't got to hate everybody else, but you love ourselves more. So it's like. So automatically Public Enemy is not known. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's
right.
like that's how the younger audience thinks. And I think we need to get that together and do a little bit more research. But I mean, right now, comedy-wise for me is real up and down. Like 1 minute I'm killing it, and the next minute I'm like trying to figure things out. And even with my following. So
dude, I was telling Renee, man, I sat here yesterday and I watched this entire hour-long interview you did a couple years ago. What was it Black Hollywood? Or what was it? Urban
right.
Hollywood?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I did that. It was weird. I did 8 interviews in a row. I don't know where out the blue I was getting called because I manage myself and I've been lucky. I'm doing okay. I'm doing pretty good on my own. But I remember that one distinctly because
I watched the whole thing, man.
Producer was mad at me. Producer got mad at me.
Nah, I mean I watched the whole thing. And I text her immediately. I'm like, this dude think like me. You know what I mean? And the part I really liked was you naming everybody. When you was like, yeah, Arnie S.J. stole my bit. And then right after, I did the same damn bit and said, that came from me. I was like, yes.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, because a lot of these cats, but right now, with black folks, and just in general, we need to really embrace ourselves a little bit more because we're not getting embraced the other ways. I mean, Donald Trump proved that.
Yeah.
Donald Trump proved that for the people that was sleepwalking, that, hey, you see it's still going down.
Right.
Right. And because look at his followers. They look like they half retarded. I mean, the truth don't mean nothing. They sitting out in the sun eating paint chips and crayons.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They walk around licking windows. They are insane. So, like black people, I just don't like them. I don't want them in my country. Make America white again.
That's all it is.
They're saying that.
That's all it is.
Yeah, and they say it that way. They'll make it white again and make it white. It's gotta be white.
You're ridiculous.
But then they dance to our music. It's like, come on, man.
He's comedian, activist Shang at comedian Shang on Twitter and Instagram. And when you were talking about comedy, I can only relate it to so many other industries, like the sports media industry, and how you have to fit into a certain mold for you to be accepted. Like when I heard you speaking, I thought about myself, and I'm like, I tell people, like, I do this show the way I do it because it's not going to be like nowhere else is going to be done like this. Like, if something's going, like, to start the show today, I ran a 4-minute clip of James Earl Jones reading a Frederick Douglass speech on the 4th of July. This is a sports show, B.
No.
Where's you going to get that at?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, I mean, you can mix it. Yeah, because we're multicultural. We're
Right.
multifaceted. And we can talk about, I love sports. I'm a huge boxing fan. I'm a huge UFC fan, but I mean, I love basketball. Football, not as much as I used to. I used to love football, but now I'm just not as into it. I think basketball right now, the finesse it takes for basketball,
Yeah.
and the individual effort compared to football. Because if you look at Seattle didn't win that Super Bowl because they didn't let Beast Mode run that in.
Right.
Beast Mode was averaging 1.5, yards a carry. They were 1, yard out, and you don't give it to the one dude that has been carrying you on your back. So whereas I think with basketball, if one basketball player decides I'm gonna take this over and hit like 3, 4 points, 5 points, or you got LeBron who said, I'm gonna start pinning people against the glass.
Yeah, just getting it busy.
Getting it busy, and he did, man. I watched the game, and I'm telling you, I think LeBron. If LeBron didn't win the game necessarily, I mean, he kept them. He's one of the reasons they won. But I mean, it was other people in the game. Like that 3-point shot was just a dagger.
The Kyrie shot. I talk about this dude in a situation where, like, when you say like he didn't win the game, but I think you see guys bring their play up to his level or try to reach his level because he's that great. Like you see that dude chase down Andre Iguodala and pin his junk to the backboard. Of course, now
that was a great play.
Now, if I'm Kyrie, I gotta do something. Now that dude just did that. What I need to do something. You know what I mean?
I need to do something. I need to pull my pants down.
Right.
Let the ball swing. We gotta get it in. I mean, like I'm just saying, like to me, that was one of the best. Like I've never seen that before. I think then it wasn't like in the history of basketball, nobody's come back. That's what I mean. I'm pretty sure that's it.
Yeah. Nobody in the finals. Nobody's ever come back from 3-1 down.
That is true, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. In the history of basketball. So my thing is, you got to give him props. And did you see how Cleveland came out? Did you see the people when they went home?
There's 1 million people, dude.
Crazy.
It's 1 million people out there in them streets. Yeah, 1 million. They dude, cats didn't even have to go to court. Like if you had to go to court that day in Cleveland, they postponed your court date so you can go out and get it in with the Cavs after they won. It was that serious.
I mean, it was that serious. But like, I look at I actually treat comedy sometimes like a sport. I treat it like a sport. You got to do reps by your reps. Your reps are getting up on stage.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that, man. Like talk to me about your writing process, man. Because like I'm the type of dude, like when I see people do something and they're like killing it and making it look easy, I'm not the dude that says, man, I could do that. I'm like, man, that must be a lot harder than it looks. And that dude has mastered what he's doing. So yeah, talk to me about like, especially your writing process, because you get political. It's not just about like, man, yeah, my baby mama was doing this, and when I went to the store, I got robbed. It's like some thought provoking stuff. Like, so what is your writing process like?
I look at newspapers. I look at online all the information that's going down. I talk to black folks in the streets. I talk to not just black folks. I don't want people to think I'm just like sitting around hating everything white. I mean, like, oh, this dude he don't like Shamu because Shamu got white.
You stupid. You stupid.
Like, just like that kind of. I ain't that crazy. Like, oh, look at these with your white teeth. I ain't, but I just think that I have to do a little bit more research. I can't just be like, me and my boy was kicking it, and then the joint fell in my lap. I can't do that. I got it because of the type of stuff I do. But for me, I got to literally take time out the week and sit and write, and then I kind of finesse it when I get on stage. But I really do have to do research because if somebody checked me, be like, that's not true. I got to be able to back it up with, like, yes, it is. If I say black folks invented a lot of stuff in America, I have a bit about black inventors. So if I do that, somebody can't come up and say, no, he didn't invent that.
Right.
You can't do that with me. Or if I say something about Obama, if I say something about, police brutality, I got to back that up. I can't just be like, if I say police kill more black folks than any other race, I got to be able to know what I'm saying. So, I mean, my main thing is the research. But at the end of the day, it can't be like so preachy, you ain't funny. I want everybody out there listening. Bottom line is, I go for the joke. Don't get it twisted.
That's what I want to. That's what I want to get at, like that balance, man. With you bringing, when you bringing the knowledge that you're bringing, and people are coming to laugh, but like with me doing my show, I always say stuff is going on outside the world of sports, and for you to bring that, like the last couple of weeks, terrorist attacks, cats shooting up clubs in Orlando, like how do you bring those type of things into your set and make them palatable for people?
That's the hard part, man. Sometimes I mean, don't get it twisted. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Sometimes, but I mean, I've been real consistent for years. I do better most of the time. I rarely have bad sets because I do so much prep. So by the time I'm ready to do my set, you know what I'm saying? I know how to shift gears. Like, oh, that joke ain't work. I shift gears. Go to another joke. I know what that. Okay, that didn't do well. Now I know I got to shift gears over here. I got to make sure that this works. So, and I'm not trying to be cocky. Anybody out there listening, I rarely have bad shows. I mean, I might have a fair show or a show that I hate.
Yeah.
But because I've hated some of my shows, but I mean, at the same time, I really do try to put the work in. Now, some of it has paid off for me, some of it hasn't. You know, I've gotten some clubs that'll ban me as, you know, a little too edgy, and I get that. You know, they say I'm too edgy, or, you know, one because I called Fox News a bag of assholes. They just like they a barbecued bag of assholes, and they just make shit up. They just get on my nerves.
Ridiculous.
No, I'm just saying. I don't know where you could buy bags of assholes.
I don't either. And get them barbecued too.
And they barbecue.
Right.
It's the holidays. The 4th. They Fox News is if you could barbecue a whole bunch of little assholes, that would be them. So I said it, and people get offended. And the owner was a Republican. Last time I worked that gig,
oh my God,
they went, well, you won't be back. Here's your check. I'm dead serious. His name, it's Bert Haas in El Paso, Texas. Not Bert Haas. I'm sorry. What is Bert's last name? Bert Haas out of Chicago. That's a different one. Bert Haas booked me. They let me go buck wild. They let me do my thing. It's Bert. It's El Paso, Texas.
He's comedian, actor, and activist. Shang, online at IamShang.com. When is the joke over? I remember I was talking to Guy Torrey one time. Guy Torrey does my show every now and then, and he made this comparison with like having to keep the material fresh, because like somebody can go to a Jay-Z concert and expect him to hear all his old songs, but you come with a joke too many times and people start getting restless and trying to, you know, heckle and boo. We already heard that one. Like, so when do you know a joke has run its course?
Like, if you're still doing, like, you know, Michael Jackson dance like this, then that joke, you need to retire that joke. But what I do is I write stuff that can, I write more issue-oriented stuff. I talk about racism, sexism, chauvinism, capitalism.
So it refreshes itself, actually.
Yeah, so it refreshes itself. Like, a year from now, it's still going to be racist. A year from now. So I could do the joke for a while, but I just change it or tweak it, or, something else will come up, like you said, with the dude flipping out. But, that's even questionable down in Orlando, because they said that, I just saw a report that said that the FBI released that there was no one killed before 5:15 a.m. But the witnesses, which one of them found out they were fake, it was hired by Fox News to just make it seem like, hey, it's the Muslims, it's ISIS, and it really, wasn't the case. It was a gay dude that was frustrated about his gayness. And so, with me, I have some jokes I've been doing for a while, but I also got other jokes that, I got a good balance now. But it's still, don't get it wrong. I've had people request jokes. Like, me and my girl came to hear you talk about the nasty Cookie Man. There was a joke I did on BET, on Comic View, on my special, literally 10, 15 years ago.
Wow.
All right. I've been doing it 23 years. They were like, we came to see the nasty little Cookie Man joke. You didn't do the nasty little Cookie Man. We wanted you to do it and asked me to do it off stage. I'm like, I ain't your little private comedy monkey. I ain't gonna just start.
Isn't that weird? I always wonder about that with you guys. Like people just, hey, funny man, say something funny right now. Say funny something.
Man, you see, I'm at the abortion clinic. Why you like?
What the hell?
You gonna talk to me now? Like, come on, man. I know the baby's going away. Come on. Damn it, joke. I'm like, dude, I'm at a funeral. Man, come on, be funny. Like, yeah, I mean, I get that sometimes, but I don't get mad. Some comics get mad about that. I get it, you know. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I've never gotten mad at like even audience members. I used to when I was younger. I'd want to hit them in the head with a shoe. I'd fight an audience member. I was crazy as cat shit. I was something wrong with me. But now I'm more like, you know, I get it. You know, I'm more tempered. You know, I'm more like, okay, I get it. Yeah. And when people get offended by my act, which they do a lot, don't get it twisted. I've gotten people offended. It's funny. I said abortion. I did a joke about a drive-through abortion clinic, and like you know, like maybe they have one lane where you get burgers and another lane. And I was going. It's a horrible joke, and it's horrible, mean, and I'm like, hey, you don't really need a Happy Meal. There, they can keep the toys. See, that's a wretched joke, but I do the joke, right? And I get people that be like, I know you didn't say that. I can't believe you said that. Like, I get that a lot. See, I get a lot of people that. I
got this theory, man, that like, look, man, a joke is a joke. Now, you can say it's a bad joke or it's not funny, but a joke is a joke, man. And the people nowadays can't laugh at each other. And that's what I want to ask you about. Like now everything has to be so politically correct. And I've heard comedians, like I've talked to like Guy Torrey and Steve Wilson, guys like that, and they talk about that tightrope that sometimes you have to walk. Like one of my favorite acts is Bernie Mac with the milk and cookies. And this dude calls a 5-year-old a fag. Imagine him doing that today, dude. Imagine that happening.
Like Bernie Mac called a child a fag.
Right.
We're canceling all of his shows. We're taking his TV show off
everything,
the air, and we're going to put him right next to the bin and with Bill Cosby.
You're ridiculous.
You know, I mean, yeah, but that type of thing, I totally get it. But I think with me is, I'm at a point now, luckily, where if you come to my show, you know exactly what the deal is.
Yeah.
So if you come to my show and you do that, and I've had people, I had somebody walk out on me Tuesday. I had some people, because when I started doing some stuff about Trump, and I had one guy threaten me, and I told him, you ain't at a rally now, you ain't got your back up. I'll stomp your mouth. I'll stomp your mouth and rape your woman's face. Hey, I really hate that dude. And then he was like, I'm just disgusted. I said, well, you know, look who you voting for. And then he walked out. So, I mean, I don't play that.
Yeah, that's weirdness, dude.
Like, yeah, I mean, I'm too old to be fighting in the street. That's silly. I need to stop it. But my main thing is just like, you know, you came to a comedy show.
Right.
It's not and if I just happen to be a comic that talks about issues. If you don't like that, tiptoe your ass out and ask for your money back.
Yeah, I've heard Paul Mooney say the show don't start till a couple white people walk out. So whatever.
Yeah.
Couple more. I got a couple more minutes with you. So I also want to ask you about something that I heard you mention. You talked about your selling out phase, and again, that's something that kind of registered with me too. Like doing this, man, it was hard for me to try to find my voice. You know what I mean? Like I knew I could do it, but the powers that be, they don't look like me, and they don't come from where I come from. They don't have the perspective that I come from, so they expect a certain thing, and you try to give it to them. So I was wondering when I heard you talk about your sellout period, what exactly you meant by that, and like what's an example of like a sellout period joke for Shang?
I'm just doing jokes that are easy. Black people and white people dance different.
Right.
You know, hey, like you've heard that 1,000 times.
Right.
You know, and beat your kids. Beat your kids. How many people beat your kids? And you know, it's like when you hear that over and over again. And so that's why I try to write a joke. Like I've been writing stuff about religion now too, about the fakeness of some people that are religious, that are really fake. And so I think that the main thing right now for me is, I've been doing it too long. The business can't do nothing else bad to me. Then it did so much bad to me. I'm like, listen, this is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'll give an example with Prince. To me, Prince it seemed like he had an attitude like, this is my shit. and you come to listen to my type of shit. I'm not going to play what you want me to play. I'm going to play this type of stuff. I'm going to come up with a song that I want to play. I'm going to have a song called Erotic City, and I'm going to play it the way I want it. I'm going to play, this is another song called When Doves Cry. I know you don't know what that means, but this is what I'm putting out.
Right.
And I mean, and that attitude, I love that. I love seeing artists like that. So if you said it, and what I did was I was basically doing jokes that I knew the audience, that were easy for the audience to get. I still got some easy jokes, don't get me wrong, through my whole set. I mean, I got a lot of material, but like you said, I couldn't find my voice. And I think that watching how it's going for black folks right now, watching how society has changed, watching how Trump has come into power, and half of America, or a part of America, seems to be bought into that, it made me go back to my true voice, which is like, if we was kicking it, we talking about something, I really talk like I'm talking to you.
Right. Good, man. That's
it took a minute.
And that's how I try to approach my situation. Run out of time here, but I want to make sure I give you an opportunity, man. What you got going on? You coming to the A anytime soon, man? I want to come, support you.
I was there. I was
Damn
there.
it.
I'll be there in October. I was there like 2 months ago.
All right, well, October ain't that far away. What else you got going on? I know you writing and you producing stuff, and I know something's going on.
Yeah.
You gonna be in a movie 15 Years a Slave featuring Shang? What's going on?
No, I ain't gonna be no. We got enough slave movies. If I see one more slave movie, I'm gonna smack somebody. It's what is it? 15 Years a Slave, the butler, the maid, the help, the cook, the Negro in the hallway. It's just like
Stupid.
Stupid. I'm tired of it. The new movie, The Brother with the Mop. I'm tired of it. I'm just like, so I'm not. But I did an hour special called Shangri that we shot in New York in front of like 3,000 people, and it came off real strong. I'm going to be releasing that in the fall. I'm going to I just did Gotham Live with Sinbad, which was kind of cool, and I got a show called With the Brain Bitch. I know that sounds crazy. It's basically making fun of people.
Wait, what is it called?
With a Brain Bitch.
With a brain bitch?
With the brain bitch. Yeah.
All right.
It's basically saying, I mean, you can call me a nigga, a monkey, whatever, but I'm a monkey with a brain bitch.
Right. Okay. I'm with it.
I got you. I got that. So we did that show, and that show did real well. So I'm coming out with that, and I'm still just producing my own stuff. I'm doing a Democratic convention, which is kind of cool. I'm doing that.
Yeah, that's ill.
2.5, 3 weeks. I'm going to be performing at the Democratic convention. Then I'm doing another show with Bahamadia, myself, Keith from Up the Block, which is a real popular comic in Philly, and it's going to be a political show. We're doing it in the theater. We're going to sell that theater out and make sure that people come get some knowledge, and funny. Like everybody listening. End of the day, I'm still a comedian.
Right.
I ain't gonna be up there preaching to you like, and what about God? I'm going for you're gonna laugh. A little bit of snot gonna come out your nose, a little bit of pee. I'm trying to make sure a little bit of pee come out.
Damn.
But, I want you laughing.
That's that real funny.
Did I pee? Yeah, that's real funny. Did I pee a little bit? I think I did. Yes, I did. I peed a little bit. I want them to pee a little bit. So, breathe depends, because that's how I'm gonna hit it on stage. So. I'm doing Philly. Actually, I'm doing Philly July 27th at the Freedom Theater, and then I'm also on that Tuesday. I'm doing the Democratic Convention in Philadelphia, and then I'm doing a club called Magooby's Comedy Theater in Baltimore that weekend, and then Chicago.
Working.
So I'll be in Chicago, and then I'm doing a play club called Zanies. I'm doing a week. I'll be there for a week. So I'll be there from Tuesday till Saturday, the last week of August. And then produce this other show called Awareness. And we're going to put it out there of how many people think, oh, it's a show about giving awareness. It is, but it's a show about how many people aren't aware of what's going down.
Yeah.
It's more like you'd be stunned at stuff that's happening in the world right now.
Nobody knows.
We don't know about.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to skew it towards the the BET audience and see if BET buy it. If BET don't buy it, I'll take it right over to FX.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I want BET to start kind of stepping up.
More thought-provoking programming. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, entertaining. Got to be entertaining.
Right.
I don't want to sit there and be like lecture to either. I won't be like, all right, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
One of my partners told me this about my gig, about what I do. He's like, yeah, you can tell people the truth. Just make sure you make them laugh about it. You know what I'm saying? Because, people want to get offended real easy. But, you tell them the truth, but make sure you make them laugh a little bit. And it'll come through a little bit more. It's like one of those gel pills that you swallow and it goes down much easier than one of those big-ass horse tablets. Yeah. So I definitely feel where you're coming from, man.
You got to put a little sugar on top of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to put a little sugar on top of it. And, but anybody out there, definitely check out my website, IamShang.com. But the main thing right now, social media is king. So get at me on the Twitter, Comedian Shang, Snapchat, Comedian Shang, and Instagram, same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Comedian Shang. I figure keep it consistent. So, I guarantee anybody come to my show, I guarantee, and our comics be making, bragging or be on they Floyd Mayweather, but I'm telling you, guarantee you will absolutely, positively laugh.
That's my man.
You will not leave and go, oh man, he made me laugh, oh he wasn't funny. That ain't gonna. You may not like what I'm saying. That is true, but you gonna laugh.
That's life. Hey, dog, I appreciate you so much for doing this. You don't understand, man. I love talking to you dudes, you comedians, man, because, it ain't just, come on and be silly. We have, real dude conversations, man, and in the meantime, some funny stuff come out, but it's, real conversation, man, and, with you and Rodney Perry and Guy and the other guys I've had on, man, it's just real good conversation, man, and that's what I try to bring to the people, and I appreciate you for doing it. Thank you, man.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank everybody for listening. Keep supporting Mike. You know what I'm saying? And share it. I just retweeted your tweet, and I just sent you a Facebook ad.
Look at you.
I'm going to retweet. And anytime you got a tweet, you include me in that tweet, I'm retweeting your tweet to all my people.
Love is love.
I got almost 200,000 people. So everybody. Every time you do it, you'll see me retweet your stuff. So, and that's real. I've already did it just now. I'll do it again.
Love is love, man. I appreciate you, man. Enjoy the rest of your and their Independence Day.
And their Independence Day, I'm just going. I'm gonna watch some more UFC and then do some work.
My man, have a good one, dog.
It's the best of One Mic with Big Mike.
All right, now listen up. I don't want no trouble.
Welcome in, my guest. I don't know where she is. I think she's in Africa, but her name is Marvellous. Real name Marvellous Iheukwumere. Am I saying that right, Marvellous?
Yes, sir. You're doing a great job.
Hey, there we go.
You're the best.
Hey, give me
best I've heard.
A round of applause for that. I've been practicing too. I wanted to make sure. I definitely wanted to make sure I got it right. I'm a real stickler for stuff like that. I don't remember names very well, but then when people have names or they're not common ones, I like to always make sure, though, I pronounce them correctly and I say them correctly and things of that nature. But thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I guess it's nighttime now to join me. Where are you, by the way?
I'm in Nigeria right now, and it is 12:30 a.m. in the morning.
Look at that.
I think there's about a 6-hour difference or 7-hour difference from where you are right now.
So you just did one of my pet peeves. When people say 5:30 a.m. in the morning, well, it's really only one. You can see, You can say either one. Where do we start? I got notes here, so let me get back to my professional thing here. Tell me what exactly do you do for the NBA?
In my time there, I was in the NBA's associate program, which is kind of like their leadership program for people once you graduate from college. So you do the program for a year, and then you phase into your full-time role there. The whole time it's a full-time position, but it gives you an opportunity to see the different kind of roles at the NBA. So at my time there, I was rotating in 4 different departments just to learn more about the business. And then at the end of my year rotation, I would end up in one department of my choosing based on kind of what my strengths were and the job availabilities at the time. So during my time there, I was able to phase through the global marketing department, the events department, the legal department, and then lastly in the player development department, where I was able to garner a lot of information about how the NBA works from a marketing standpoint, an event standpoint, legal standpoint, and also a player relations standpoint. So it gave me a holistic approach to the business, so that once I stuck in one department, I was a valuable asset to that department.
Now you're talking in the past tense. From my understanding, you were just kind of taking a break to get back to track, and then you were going back. So is your time in the NBA over?
No, it's not over. I'm just saying it in the past tense because that role was what I was doing last year before I took the break, as opposed to saying presently, because I did take a break, and this past year I've been running instead. Gotcha.
Follow her on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Stay Marvelous. She's an Olympic hopeful. She's also an NBA associate, as you just heard. Her name is Marvellous Iheukwumere. I'm still doing well, right? Iheukwumere?
Yes, sir.
Bang.
Hey, you're doing great.
I want to also know, since you've worked in so many different capacities within the NBA, what is your relationship with the African-born players, guys like Serge Ibaka and Bismack Biyombo and Luol Deng and guys like that within the NBA? Do you have a relationship with those guys?
I wouldn't say that I have a relationship with those guys per se, but I was able to work closely with Emmanuel Mudiay, who is African.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to work with him because he was a rookie, and I was more so working with the rookies during my time as an associate last year, and got to know his mom, and also got to kind of, talk to him about my experience being someone who had once lived in Africa and moved to the States. And similarly, he's the same way. He moved to Dallas and started playing basketball. And now, presently, I believe he still plays for Denver Nuggets.
He does.
But I got the chance to sort of talk to him and kind of learn about his own experience during the rookie transition program, which is a program that the NBA does for the rookies, just to help them phase into the NBA, sort of like an orientation for high school students, but or orientation for college students, but in this case, it applies to rookies and teaches them the ropes of what to expect in the league and how things are run. So I got to spend some time with him there, and that's probably one of the people that I've gotten to have a closer relationship with in terms of the African-born players that play in the league.
Absolutely. Talking right now with Olympic hopeful in the 100 and 200 and 4x100. Her name is Marvellous Iheukwumere. Follow her on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Stay Marvelous, spelled STAYMARVELLOUS. You got one of the craziest stories that, like, if I were you, every time I met somebody, I would tell this story. It's one of the illest things I've ever heard. And in the light of this week, Tim Duncan now calling it a career, and Tim Duncan calling it a career with 5 championships, and a lot of people feeling like that next echelon as it relates to championships is 6 to match the great Michael Jordan. Marvellous, tell me why Tim Duncan doesn't have 6 championships, first of all. Tell me why that didn't happen.
I think the Spurs have been almost every finals. I think they've been close to getting there in terms of every NBA playoffs. I can't fully describe why he doesn't have 6
There's one particular reason why, and you were there. That he did.
I do remember.
Yeah.
Yes,
what happened? Why didn't he get 6 championships? Marvellous.
He didn't get 6 championships because the Heat advanced and won the Game 6 to go to Game 7, and actually won the series while LeBron was there with Wade. That was a great experience to see that happen, as I really have great respect for those guys, and also obviously for Tim Duncan. He is a legend, and he has accomplished a lot.
You're selling it, but you're selling it short. You're selling it short. When Ray Allen hit that 3-pointer, where were you and what were you doing in Game 6?
Oh, right.
Right, like you don't remember.
Right. Behind the security tape. But, I'm happy in the way that it panned out, and I'm glad that he still has 5 other championships to relish. And in his, exit out of the NBA, and he's had a great career. It could have been 6, but it wasn't.
Hold on. The way I read the story was you were one of the people charged with rolling the Larry O'Brien trophy out. Am I mistaken in something or something, or is that not true?
It partially is. I think the article may have worded it a little bit differently than how it happened. You know, sometimes articles sometimes misplace words or quotes. It was actually my boss that was doing that. So
you should go with that version. The other, not the part about, go with that version, that you were the one that was going to roll the trophy out. Yeah, go with that version. That's an awesome story. What are your times looking like right now? I know, getting onto the track side of you, you're such a multifaceted person as I was reading about you. Moving on to the track side, you've taken a bit of a sabbatical from your NBA duties to get back into your love of track and field and hopefully end up in Rio. Now, I read that I think you had to get it under certain times by Monday or something like that. How did all that go?
Right. So I had the standard was 23:20 and 11:32 in my respective races, the 200 and the 100-meter dash.
Mm-hmm.
And for the 4x1, it was just a matter of kind of placing in a certain position in both events and sort of being close to the standard, but not necessarily running the standard.
Okay.
It's not as required for the relay because it's a pool of 4 to 6 people. So it was the rules are a little bit more lax, but for the individual events, you have to run the standard to be able to run that event there. So, I mean, I went to the trials. It was a long process starting from last week. Sunday, we had to go to Lagos, which is where the president of our federation lives. And then from there, we went to Sapele, which is the city in Delta, which is where the trials were held. And we were there from Monday to Thursday, which is when the trials started. And we ran from Thursday to Sunday. And actually 2 meets. One meet was a trials, which was 2 days long, and the other meet was a Grand Prix meet that they were supposed to hold earlier in the month, but I mean later in the month of June, but they had to push it to that week of trials. So in the 100 was okay. I wasn't able to make it to the finals of the 100, so that was it for the 100. Not being able to make it to the finals, I didn't have another chance to possibly make it in that event.
Okay.
So I had the 200 next, and in 200 I made it to the finals in the 200, but wasn't able to place in the top 3 for the 200. So there was that opportunity for going in the 200 and hitting the standard. But the next day, I still had an opportunity to run a better 100 time to be considered for the relay. And, you know, things didn't go as planned. And I'm walking away with everything happy that I was able to advance to the finals in the 200. And at least I can say I'm an Olympic trials finalist in the 200 and kind of walk away with that and, you know, kind of be happy with the progress I've been able to make in this first year running professionally and being able to accomplish that in my first year and also being completely healthy, which is the best that I've ever been in my whole career since high school. This is the healthiest I've ever been in the whole season. So, I'm learning about taking away the positives from the whole situation and kind of being happy with, you know, the outcome, even though I would have loved to be on that 4x1 relay pool, but, you know, things just didn't work out like that. And sometimes that's just how the game of sports works.
Yeah.
You can work really hard and try your best and things don't always pan out, and sometimes they do, but you sort of learn to accept the process and, you know, take away the positives that you can and keep it moving towards future aspirations. And that's kind of how I'm looking at it. And it's been a great journey for me in terms of learning a lot about my sport, the politics behind it, especially the politics behind running professionally, and just sort of seeing that world, because it's a world that I've never been in, seeing that prior to this, all of my track career was more so an amateur thing.
How long were you away from the track?
I was away from the track for about 2 years.
Now, I heard and I read that you would still get up early before your NBA job, get your weights in, do your job, and then afterwards get your track work in. And I found that to be amazing. Like, where does that come from? That drive, and where does that want to come from? Even though you weren't actively competing, still having the will to get up every morning and stay late or do your work late at night as well. Where does that come from?
I think that will just comes from my, inborn personality of being the best at what I do and being great. And because I knew that I didn't want to go into the year of training being so far behind, I knew that I had to start, at least a base training so that I wouldn't be so hard for me to catch up after being out of the game for almost 2 years. So I would train my body so that it wouldn't be so shocked when I got into the real training. And also because I genuinely have a passion for running track, and it's like something that I enjoy doing. So for me, it wasn't like a burden. It was like, oh, I have to do this because it's something that's part of me and has been a part of me for so long, since I was in 9th grade. So I think that was part of it, was it's part of who I am, and also because I have this zeal to be great at it. So nothing worth having comes easy. So I knew that I couldn't have made as much progress as I've made in this year if I hadn't started early.
Right. Sharing the mic right now with Marvellous Iheukwumere. She's an Olympic hopeful. She's also an NBA associate. Make sure you guys are following her on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Stay Marvellous, StayMarvelous. I want to talk about your hometown, so to speak, of Nigeria. What's the social attitude towards female athletes in Nigeria? I know here in America, we tend to feel like, because, there's Title IX and we have the WNBA, and female athletes a lot of times are celebrated in this country. We tend to kind of fail to zoom out and think about cultural differences everywhere else. Is it any different in Nigeria?
Oh, it's completely different. The social climate here is completely different towards female athletes, and that's another reason why I fight so hard for this and work hard to do this, because it's not just about me running track or doing it for myself, but it's as a platform, because I want to use it as a platform to teach people here about social responsibility and teach young girls that, yes, you can be an athlete.
Absolutely.
And yes, you can also be an athlete who is also a lawyer, who's also a doctor, and that being an athlete does not just define you, and that it's okay for you to pursue multiple callings in life. And that's what makes up your journey, your story. And, that's part of the reason why I do this, because I want a young girl who may have been like me growing up to see, okay, if Marvellous can do it, then I can too, and that there's nothing wrong with having multiple callings in life and pursuing those multiple callings and excelling in them. And I think that sometimes in our culture, we don't do that a lot. Like, it's a lot of children just see this one dimension of calling in life, like, okay, I'm going to go to school and do this and do that. And sometimes females aren't as encouraged to be athletes because of the negative connotations in terms of what it does to our bodies and how it masculinizes us, in terms of giving us more muscles or, making us look a little bit different than the standard of beauty here.
Gotcha.
So it's completely different, especially when I'm getting close to an age where there's like expectations of marriage and all those things. And so it becomes, why are you still doing sports? Do you not want to get married? And, those kind of questions. And so it's a different expectation and a different light than what I normally would get in the States. And that's why I'm doing it, because I want to be able to challenge the status quo and show that it's possible for me to be this kind of woman and still also be a woman who still has ideals for marriage and all, and education, and advancing myself in my other career, as well as also pursuing this athletic world.
Hey, did you notice how professional I was, and I didn't try to get, even when we spoke briefly today, I didn't try to get cute with your name or anything. I didn't try to make any like little stupid ass joke about Marvellous or anything of that nature. Did you notice how I did that?
I did notice it.
Yeah. Just wanted to point it out that, I'm trying to I'm trying to do my part as well. You talk about later on in life. You talk about marriage and kids and other things that you aspire to. And there's been a lot of concern surrounding these Olympic Games in particular, with Rio and some of the security concerns, and especially the Zika virus. As you were training and doing everything you could to get yourself to Rio, were any of those things high on the list of concerns for you?
Definitely not. I'm like the kind of person like,
wow.
When for me, I kind of grew up in Nigeria, so I've been around that kind of environment where there are those large threats of, mosquitoes and diseases and all those things. So for me, I wasn't really fazed by it, because I was like, well, the government is going to try to take care of it. The World Health Organization, I'm sure they're going to do something about it by the time that, it comes. I was like, it's the Olympics. Someone's going to take care of it. It's not going to be that big of a deal. And if it is, then they're going to advise people on what to do. And what I would do is, heed the advice. If there's a certain vaccine I have to take, then I'll take it. If there's a certain, thing that I have to do to make sure that I'm okay, then I will heed to those directions. But it wasn't ever really a big issue for me. In my mind, I was like, well, I'll make it, and then I'll take care of what I have to take care of when I get there. What
about your parents? What about, did like mom and dad ever say, you know what, there is that Zika situation, or is it kind of like along the same lines? They're from Nigeria as well, and they've kind of experienced the same things that you have, so it wasn't a big deal to them either.
Yeah, I think it was definitely like that. I don't think my mom ever asked me once about the Zika virus or what was going on in Rio. In terms of all that stuff, if anything, we probably talked about political unrest there, but not so much about, anything in terms of the Zika virus. I mean, we saw that it was apparent and that it was something that was serious, but never really crossed my mind that it would be something where if I had the opportunity to go, that I would say no, because it was there.
No doubt. No doubt. She's Marvellous Iheukwumere. Make sure you guys are following her on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat at Stay Marvelous. When I was reading your story, you talked about twice in your I guess acclamation to the United States, 2 times where you had like this culture shock. Once when you were younger, and then going to school in New York. Give me an example, though. Give me a specific moment when you were like, oh, my God, this is America, that it just hit you in the face like a ton of bricks.
I would say my first day of school in Texas, when I moved from Nigeria to Texas, probably was my first realization that I was in America. And it was because for the first time in my life, I was the only person of color in the classroom.
Really?
And everyone was not the same color as me, and that was very weird for me, because growing up as a kid, obviously in Nigeria, I was mostly around people that looked like me, and to be in a classroom where I was the outsider, like for the first time in my life, I was the outsider, and to not really understand what my classmates were saying. Like, it was the same English I was speaking, but to not be able to understand what they were saying, and for them to stare at me so weirdly.
What was different?
What I was saying.
What was different about what they were saying?
It was different because I couldn't hear them. It was so quick. Like, it wasn't like the same English I was used to speaking. It was like, it was different for me. And as a kid, I never really, I watched TV, but it was really much so cartoons. So I didn't really watch, it wasn't like I watched sitcoms or something like that would show me what white people sounded like. So I didn't know. So when I first got there to school and actually saw them and saw what they sounded like, it was like, oh, wow, so this is what this breed of people sound like. This is what they look like.
That's awesome.
This is what they look like. And for them, also, it was like understanding that, oh, this is a black person, a person of color, but she's not American.
Yeah.
Like, she's African. So it was also weird for them, and I would get questions like, oh, do you live in a tree, or do you swim? Like,
kids are idiots.
It was a really it was a really tough couple of years for me to adjust. There was so much of a difference in where I was coming from and what they know and where they're coming from as well.
Yeah, they've got terrible parents. Those kids had terrible parents. If they were actually human being, if they lived in a tree, yeah, they've got terrible parents. By the way, I appreciate you joining me today. I got one last thing for you before I let you go, and I know it's late over there, so I definitely appreciate your time. What's the news like over there? Like here in the States, where we're dealing with these recent police shootings, does that have any impact in Nigeria, or do people talk about that kind of thing when it happens here in the States over where you are?
Oh, definitely. It's interesting because I was at the hotel where we were staying at for the competition. Had CNN. Even as young as that, when I was living here in Nigeria, my parents used to watch CNN, and if not watching it, but hear it on the radio. And so so people here are very aware of what's going on in the United States, what's going on in London. Like, everyone knows here that Trump and Hillary Clinton are running, are going to be in the presidential election, and the whole gun violence and all of that.
What's the conversation like?
All of that. And the conversation is actually interesting. Back to my point of the hotel, we were in the lobby of the hotel, and the hotel TV was playing what was going on, and the guests that were coming in looked at us, and they were like, have you guys heard of what's happened? Like, we're so angry that this is happening, that the white people are killing black people in America. And this was the day when the shooting happened in Dallas. The cop shooting happened in Dallas, and the man that was talking to us was saying, good job to the person who killed the Dallas cops. Wow. And, kind of like in solitude with the person who killed the cops, saying like, oh, it's a good thing because they're killing, people of color. And I was shocked to hear them say that, because I knew that, they know what's going on, but not to the extent to where they know to pick sides, or to know like, what's going on, and knowing that this is kind of like a racial problem that's going on in America. And they know about it a lot, and even when I came back to visit my family, my cousins were talking about it and talking about how they've been following it, even from as early as the Trayvon Martin case and all that.
Wow. That's
so they're very aware.
Yeah, that's eye-opening. Once again, man, she's this Marvellous Iheukwumere, an Olympic hopeful, an NBA associate. You guys definitely make sure you guys follow her on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat at Stay Marvellous, STAYMARVELLOUS.
It's the best of One Mic with Big Mike.
You ain't gonna believe this shit. Check this out.
On the phone right now, producer, writer, rapper, the homie Kwame joins the show, sharing the mic for a few minutes. Yeah, man.
Yo. What up?
All right, so here's the deal. This is what we got to do before we even start the interview. I need you to do something. You got to explain something to my moms. You know what I'm saying?
To your mom?
To my mom.
Okay.
Because when I was in 6th or 7th grade, right, I'm bugging Mom, I got to get the polka dots, Mom. I gotta get the patent leather shoes with the chrome tips for this dance. And her question to me is why? And I'm, the answer, because it's cool. Because I want to. And I couldn't explain to her why. So now you got to explain to me so I can explain to her what was the significance of the polka dots and the tornado. Is that what it was, dude? Because we just made that, or did we make that up? The tornado in the hair, is that what that was?
Everybody was like, it's Africa. Everybody was like,
word.
it's a tornado or whatever. But before I get into the street, the significance of the polka dots was simple. It was, first of all, it wasn't anything that was intended at first. But what it was to say, look, we love hip-hop, we love rap, but we're not going to be the stereotype of what you think a rapper or a hip-hop head dresses like. And the stereotype was the fat rope chain,
right,
the beeper, the track suit, or whatever was the typical rapper outfit at the time. So, for example, I remember getting in trouble. Like, my godfather found like a messed up beeper that didn't work, and I had a job at a grocery store, and I spent $30 on a fake fat rope, and I had the rapper suit on, and I was going to like a school dance. I was probably in the 9th grade, and my pops got on me. He's like, yo, why are you out here looking like these damn drug dealers?
Right.
Going
See,
in.
You got to explain that to people that's what a beeper meant back then, because it was so long ago.
Yeah, so it's like there was a key to looking a certain way. Like, drug dealers wanted to look like rappers wanted to look like drug dealers, and the whole movement of what I was doing, or what I still do, is, okay, we can dress off tilt. You know what I'm saying? We can rock fly silk shirts with blazers and slacks and dope shoes, keep our hair sharp, you know what I'm saying? Our flat top sharp or Gumby sharp, and we can stand apart. And we can say that we are above what you think we are because of the music and the culture that we're in.
Damn it, man. I wish I'd have known you then. You could explain that to her then, and she would have bought it for me. That's a real good explanation. Other than my dumb ass just saying it's cool.
Well, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, that's the other important part. We made that cool when it wasn't supposed to be cool. You know, but what you should have done, going back to the 7th grade, you should have gave her the alternative. Well, you can give me this fat rope and buy me this beeper.
I knew that wasn't going to fly.
Exactly. So, do you want me to dress with some slack shoes and a nice shirt, or do you want to give me these brand new Jordans that cost $100 that parents wasn't trying to feel? They wasn't feeling that back then.
Yeah, especially not my cheap
so it was like,
Hell no.
Exactly.
Hell no.
So it was just being alternative. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. He's rapper, writer, producer, Kwame. Follow him on or like his Facebook page, Kwame the Boy Genius. On Twitter, he's at Kwame Did It. On IG, Kwame Vision. We're gonna talk to him about his new music label here in a second. Make Noise Music. But first, let's talk about what you did on Instagram last week. I got it here, and I want the people to hear it who haven't heard it, and then we can kind of break it down a little bit. It's about a minute long, y'all, so y'all kind of bear with us for a second. But I think I didn't cut it or anything because I think it's important to hear the entire message, the inflection, everything, how it was said. So y'all check this out for a minute.
I don't care. I don't care about who's on the NBA team. I don't care about how many days till kickoff. I don't care about celebrity weddings. I don't care about empire. I don't care about who dissed who on the record. I don't care about Hillary's emails. I don't care about Trump. I don't care about who's on tour. I don't care about a gorilla being shot. I don't care about the new Jordans dropping. I don't care about stupid Snapchat and IG videos. What I care about is the fact that every day I fear for the lives of my son, brother, friends, cousins, uncles, and myself. I care about the fact that we are not considered equal under the law, and I may face death just by going about my normal daily routine. But you know what? On days like yesterday, we get that reminder that it's not sweet out here. But what happens? We beef, we may go out for a month and take to the streets, but then football, basketball starts, someone drops an album, and then we back to sucking our thumbs like it's all good. But what happens when the reminders run out? How do you tell people in a coma to wake up?
How do you tell them, brother? I'm going to let you have it. You know what I'm saying?
So how much time you got? Because
go ahead, let's run.
There's a lot of codes in that. I had to break it down for a minute. but it's a mixture of a lot of different things.
Yeah.
First of all, the first thing is pre the murders of the most recent police murders. Pre that, I would do interviews, and the top topics, and whether it's my interviews or whether it's one of my artists doing an interview, the key questions will always be, what do you think about this season of Empire? Or what do you think about Rihanna's album?
Yeah.
Or what do you think about Beyonce's tour? And I have nothing against any of those things, because those are black people working, and they're doing it. They're not being malicious against anybody. They're doing what they got to do, and they're getting paid for it.
Right.
But my concern started to be like, with everything that's going on in this world, those are the top 3 questions that you're going to ask a black artist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if our world had to revolve around that.
Dude, it's so funny, man. Right before you came on, I was talking about that exact same thing. It's like there needs to be this perspective. The conversation that you and I are having right now, like, damn the fact that I'm doing a sports show. Like, real life is happening. You know what I mean? And real life that affects people who look like me. I can't just keep talking about Dwight Howard and Kevin Durant when dudes is getting murdered in the street. You understand?
Exactly. And I can't, I know this is a sports show, and don't crucify me for this, but I'm the worst sports person you can ever speak to. I don't know nothing about nobody.
No problem, brother.
But what I do know is, I see more people standing online for a pair of Jordans. Yep. But I've yet to ever see Jordan ever speak up for anything or anybody. I've never seen it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, if it has happened, but I have never seen it.
Nah, that ain't his move, man. Like, even back in the day, remember, they was trying to get him to speak about the kids getting murdered for Jordans and starter coats and all that kind of stuff when it was popular, like in 90, 91. His famous comment is, Republicans buy shoes too. Like, that was his way of saying, I'm not on nobody's side.
So you see, and for you to say that's not even his move.
Right.
So that to me is an issue. That to me is an issue where you have kids in neighborhoods, and I'm almost off topic, but I'm going to jump back on.
Nah, you good.
You got kids in neighborhoods that their rent may be, super low income rent may be $300-400 a month plus bills or whatever, and half of that is going to the new 11s that dropped on Saturday.
Yeah.
I kind of think that's a little bit more important than what Empire showed the week before. You know what I'm saying? So it's starting to build up. It's starting to build up that I hear more about Harambe, the gorilla, than, whoever the black or brown child that got murdered that week. Matter of fact, I know Harambe's name more than the 6-month-old that got killed in a crossfire in Detroit.
And it shouldn't be, man. We live in America.
You know what I'm saying?
That shouldn't be.
So and somebody could say, well, all you got to do is look it up and you can find the girl's name. Cool. But Harambe is being put in my face every 5 minutes.
That's far from the point. Right.
So then I see more people on Instagram showing me that they at the Formation tour, and God bless Beyonce, she got to make her money, but I don't see those same people at a Black Lives Matter rally, maybe the next 2 weeks later. You had to pay $100 to get to that tour.
Mm-hmm. 100.
That rally, you just had to get on the damn bus or take a car or walk and get there for free. And the rallies is just as long.
How do we...
If not, maybe shorter.
Let me ask you this, man. We're talking to rapper, writer, and producer Kwame. Make sure you follow him online or on social media, whatever, on Twitter at Kwame Did It. how do we remedy what you're talking about, that prioritization that we have, or the lack thereof, as a community, where we've been kind of conditioned to, and I'm saying we in this situation because I fall into that, to wear our status on our bodies, or let people having to see our status to feel important.
This is, and back to my 60-second rant on Instagram. That's the thing. What the black community has done and has done for years. This is a generational thing.
Yeah.
We feel that money is the equalizer. You know, we feel like maybe they won't bother us because they see we have money. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like that old thing that people do when they want to go into a high-end store. They get dressed up.
Yeah.
They don't think they'll be followed. They don't think they'll be followed.
Right.
You just a black person with a suit on. That ain't nothing. Matter of fact, the other side, like for the old school cats, if you watch Trading Places, they make bets to see how you're going to blow your money.
Right, and get back to be a dude on the street. Yeah.
You know, and it's funny, and I learned it a long time ago when I was a kid. It was like, I know children of billionaires. I know, very rich white guys. And I remember, like, one time I thought I was popping. I had all this Gucci on, and I walked in one of my dude's offices, and he was like, "Okay, thank you for letting me know where you just spent your last check." Damn,
reality check immediately.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then going to places like Ghana and seeing 100% real poverty put another reality check in, and I understood the way things kind of really are, and we as a people feel that money and status will equalize it. How many people in the hood that live more? How many people in the projects in the hood that got the new Jordans, got a Benz, got whatever new gear on,
mm-hmm.
but you still right here.
Right.
So the thing that helps us prioritize is the understanding and knowing that, yes, in the eyes of God, we are all equal, but in the eyes of society, we are not. And when we really understand that we are not considered equal, we're not going to be treated equal, and money is not our equalizer, we will start to prioritize in a different way, and prioritize by circulating dollars amongst ourselves and doing things within our own community, and building more or less black oases. And I know it could be a far stretch, but that was one of the things pre-integration that made the black community very strong. When we were segregated, we were forced to build ourselves up. We were forced to build our own universities. We were forced to build our own grocery stores and clothing stores and things like that. And soon as the dollar started rising in our pockets, the separation came and the classism came, or it expanded, and it caused us to lose track. So now you have, I don't know how old you are, but
I'm 39, brother. I'm right behind you.
Okay, so I'm 43. So it's like, our parents before us made a certain amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Our grandparents made even less, and our great-grandparents made even less. So now we're at the point where we make money at our age, where our children think it's all good. It's all equal.
Man.
It's all sweet. They can go to the same private schools as the white kids do, or the richer kids do. I don't want to, super make it the black and white thing.
Yeah,
but,
I got you.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And we drive the same kind of cars that we only wish that we can have. We live in these little McMansions now that, that give us the appearance that we got something popping. We could go down. I'm from New York, so the price of anything is super high. But the New Yorkers now can go down to Atlanta or go down to the Carolina, anywhere down south, and buy a crib that they would have never believed that they was able to get for a fraction of the price that they're used to. And we just building on those brands, and it's desensitizing us. And then we can't even understand why the cops stopped us, or we can't understand why, we get discriminated against because we think it's super sweet out here.
That it's not supposed to be
and
that
it's
no
not.
more.
Every day we get a reminder that it ain't.
Let's switch gears for a second real quick. And we're talking to rapper, writer, producer Kwame. He's on Instagram at Kwame Vision. Let's kind of get into your wheelhouse before we run out of time. Because I want to, when I was reading your stuff, man, I'm like, hold on. This dude is everywhere, but kind of like nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, you're not in the spotlight anymore, but give the people an idea of some of the things that you've been involved in that they may not even know that Kwame had his hands on it.
I'm not a good person that preaches about themselves or anything.
And they bragging. Just give us the facts. You know what I mean? Just give us the facts.
For the last several years, I've produced artists from anywhere from 50 Cent, Lloyd Banks, Missy Elliott, Keisha Cole, Christina Aguilera, Mary J. Blige, LL Cool J, even Will Smith, even Raven Simone. I've done music for over 12 films right now, and now I currently have a record label through Capitol Records called Make Noise, and the flagship artist on that label is R&B artist Vivian Green.
Yeah,
who,
man. She's
had
soulful, boy.
We've had a great success with her singles this year and last year. So, my thing is this, man. I want to be able to have a very long career. And, I've been in it for 27 years. A lot of music people can't necessarily say that.
Right.
And sometimes it's just bigger than yourself. I like to put my name on things, but I don't like to walk around like I did this, I did that, I did this. I don't like talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me do it for you real quick. This dude has been attached to over 30 million records sold, man. And like, if you're like me, if anybody's like me, they just heard that, because I'm thinking Kwame from my preteen years. It's like, man, where this dude been? I've been seeing everybody having these throwback concerts. I don't really see Kwame on them. Yeah, Kwame been working, working, man. Good for you, dude. Finish this sentence.
I would like to be on some of them throwback concerts because I love performing, man.
Yeah.
We
love to see. They do them down here all the time.
Yeah. Where are you located?
I'm in Atlanta.
So they just had one. They just had one on Saturday.
Right.
With Slick Rick, Doug Fresh, Kane. I was actually there, but I didn't perform. But it was dope. It was dope.
Finish this sentence for me. Hip hop in 2016 is.
Hip hop in 2016.
Yeah, as we sit now here now, what's your perception of where the game is now?
Oh, the game is all over the place to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think hip hop in 2016. The best way to put it is there's now an official generation gap.
Okay.
With hip hop.
Explain that to me.
You have cats from our generation that says this hip hop ain't real hip hop. You have cats, the kids, that think hip hop, what their hip hop is real hip hop, and old school is super whack. So, you got heads butting against each other about what's real, what's trash. And I think for us, we come from a generation where we've seen it created from the ground up. It's like us living in homes built from stone and wood and steel and constructed in a way where now our kids' homes are just built out of some plastic and paper.
Technology, right.
Yeah, and it just, our homes took 30 years to build. Their homes take 2 weeks to build. And so we look at it in a different way. And then I think there's certain artists like Kendrick, Cole, that are in the middle that can bridge those gaps. As long as we have a wide spectrum of artists, and we don't just focus, say, on trap or focus on underground or whatever, that's the thing that'll, I think, bridge that gap. But as of now, if you're just hearing these one-dimensional records,
yeah,
it kind of messes with the legacy of hip hop, because now I think hip hop, in the long run, I think hip hop is now like a parody of itself.
In what way?
What we used to joke about hip hop, like if you watch an old school movie and they had like a terrible rapper or whatever.
Oh, okay, I got
That's what hip hop actually is right now. and you can just look back on it. It's like it. That's the issue, and that's the issue. I don't want to sound like the old school hater dude, because I'm not. Because I find good stuff in a lot of rappers that other rappers hate.
Sure.
Like I listen to, like, if I really sit down and listen to Young Thug, for example, I'm like, dude got rhymes. I may not like all his records, but I can hear what he's saying. Or even Designer. You can't understand half the thing he's saying in Panda, but I've heard him freestyle, and I'm like, okay, I hear what he's saying.
Okay.
But I need him to translate this on a record that maybe I need to feel. And I've resigned to the fact that this form of rap may not be for me.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing to do.
Yeah, we grew up on hip hop, so we think all hip hop is ours. But the beauty of hip hop is now it is transcended into another generation that may not be ours anymore.
And doesn't the game need that too? As far as, when the rap game started, it was described as a fad, like something that would fizzle out. But it continues to metamorphosize and continues to evolve generation by generation, with the clothes, with the speech, with the music itself. And I think that is, to me, I think that's the lifeblood of the culture. I don't even call it music anymore. I think hip hop has gone from being, a hip hop, a rap song, to now it's a culture in our clothes and our walk.
Lifestyle. Yeah, all day. And I think now it's going to be generational, because you think about it. I say hip hop has 3 to 4 generations.
Okay.
You have the original hip-hop heads that are in their mid-50s now. They were into funk and disco, and then they got into the original rap, like Sugar Hill Gang, Treacherous 3, Furious 5. And we were little kids. So we could have gotten into it, we might not have gotten into it. Then you got golden era rap, where, for me, I think it started in, like, say, 85, and that went all the way into, say, 92 to 95. And some people stuck on that. They don't like anything after that. Then you have the bling era rap from 95 to, say, 2001, when everything was about, it was still hard and it had edge to it and still had diverse, but it was about getting that money. And some people can't stop after 2001. And then it just went into this phase that it is now.
Yeah,
I don't know what you want to call it.
Got into like the auto-tune in and so forth and so on.
It just went into that, but it's going to turn into something else.
Yeah, and
we might think that this is bad. What happens? What's next? The next thing might be even 10 times worse than this.
Dude, I was just telling
Renee.
Renee.
For us.
I was just telling Renee about that. Like that song, that 50 Cent song. I came back with that In the Club. I was like, like it or not, that is a generation's classic record. That's like a Marvin Gaye record, because as soon as the first beat hit, you know exactly what the song is. You know exactly what the words are. And that song will last. To me, I think it'll last another 20, 30, 40 years. It's going to last forever. And maybe you don't like it, maybe you do, but it is what it is. I got a couple more things for you before I let you go. We're going to go over a little bit, but I don't care, because I'm loving the conversation. I want to know about your daughter, man, because you talk about the hip hop being generational, but you're actually living it. Like your daughter's an artist, right?
No, I have a son.
I'm sorry.
Wait, hold on. I got a daughter.
Yeah, I done put one on you, didn't I? You are the father, Kwame.
You telling me something I don't know?
Your son, I'm sorry, is an artist as well. So now, first of all, what does he think about your music? And now that he does music, how are you helping him? Appreciate what came before him while he moves on to the next step.
My son appreciates what came before him.
Yeah. That's because of his dad, right?
My son is, and it really don't have nothing to do with me. It's like, I think my son, he's 24. So he's like, his favorite classic hip-hop record for him is Hip Hop Hooray. That's like, it starts there for him.
All right, I got you.
And which is, I still think is dope. And I think that he understands, but yet doesn't understand. What he does not understand, which a lot of people, if anybody knows anybody in their 20s, you will all know this. He thinks everything may have to be handed to him, as opposed to getting out there and doing the legwork.
Yeah.
And his thing is, well, Dad, you're this and you do that and that, so you can just, you just give me the keys, without learning the trade. And so that's the only place I think we butt heads. It's just like, okay, you want to be you rap, and you have a whole studio facility to yourself. You can just, when I ain't using it, you can use it. Fine. But what are you doing to be a rapper?
Yeah.
I know when I was a kid, and I was trying to be a rapper, there were people in the music industry I knew. I knew Salt and Pepper. I knew Herbie Lovebug. I knew Kid and Play. I knew Cool G Rap. These were people in my neighborhood. I knew Eric B. These are all people, but I never expected them to do anything for me. My thing was, I'm going to show you that this is what I can do, and if you can help, cool. If not, I will find someone else who can.
Right. That's real stuff.
And I need him and any young person, because it ain't just about him, but any young person that's trying to do it. If this is something that you're meant to do, you're going to do it whether your parents help you or not.
Yeah.
Period. I used to sneak out of my house. I've gotten in more trouble as a teenager due to trying to rap than anything else.
Now look at you.
I'm in trouble in school because I cut class 3 times. I didn't leave the school. I had a battle. In the lunchroom. I didn't go to science class today. So, my pops come back after parent-teachers night, like, wait a minute. Where did you go yesterday? Oh, I was in school.
Yeah.
I was just rhyming. We was in the hallway. We was here. We were there, So, even if my son had gotten into trouble like that in high school, I wouldn't have been super mad at him because I would understand it. So I think, it's instilling that into him, because you can always, everybody know how to rap nowadays. It ain't that hard to rap.
Well,
now,
I like to put that theory to the test. I had no skills at all. Any.
Neither do half of the people that's out right now.
Well, touche.
So what can you do?
Last thing I want to get from you, man, I want to get more details on your new label, man. You talked about Vivian Green, but I know it don't stop there. What's to come?
So, with Make Noise, I want to keep it as like a super boutique label, and I'm focusing on artists, like well-rounded artists, meaning like a Vivian, somebody that knows how to write their own music, write their own songs, and knows exactly where they're going or where they would like to go. Not just somebody who goes, all right, she's pretty, she can sing, what can you do with her? That's not the type of work that I personally want to get into. I want to get into developing artists that have that well-rounded drive, that can jump in their own car and go.
Right.
And so I have an artist named Rob Joseph, a rapper out of Queens that's ill as hell. Another female singer out of New York, also named Sarai, that's very dope. But the thing about them, what I like about working with them and anybody else who I work with, they can have a future in the music business if this artist thing falls apart.
Gotcha.
And I tell them that all the time. Like my rapper, I be like, yo, you know, if this stuff don't work, you would be a perfect A&R. Don't just see the fact that you're a rapper right now, because I'm looking for people that want to have a career, and I want to help shape and build people's career in the music industry. Not the short sight is the artist thing. Not all artists get to have 10, 15, 20 albums and rock for the rest of their life as an artist. You got to figure it out. You know, don't just do this because it's a fad, and then when the fad blows out, you don't know where you want to go.
Yeah.
So I like to see that in people. Certain the same things that I see in myself. You know, I didn't see myself just as a rapper. You know, I want to see people that can move a little bit further than that.
That's what it is, man. Hey, man, the conversation was awesome, man. I appreciate you joining me, man. And like I said,
thanks for having me,
I said, it was so wild, man. Like a dude that I was trying to emulate as a sixth grader and seventh grader. Here I am at 39 years old, getting the opportunity to talk to you, man, and holler at you, man. So appreciate you, man, and the best luck to you in everything you're doing, man. No doubt, man. Have a good one, Kwame.
All right, man. Peace.
It's the best of One Mic with Big Mike.
Oh, it's good. All right, man. So you here, man. You kind of walked into this thing today, man, with me. You know, the show ain't really usually this somber, but I think we got some things to address, my man. We got to talk, man, and we got to have this conversation. I definitely want to start off first by thanking you, and then getting your thoughts on everything that's transpired since the middle of the week till today, man. It's so crazy.
Yeah, man, it's definitely crazy. It's definitely been, a lot of up and down emotions, heartbreaking. It's shocked. It's really sad. It's really, really sad. And I think because the videos are so graphic, it just makes it that much worse. It puts you right there almost in a first person, if you will, position to see it. Like, there's no doubt what happened, and that's what's sad about it. You can even hear the policemen's reactions, cursing, and, you could tell in their head they obviously knew that it either escalated too fast or they made a really bad judgment call.
Why are we as black men, why are we criminals? Why are we? I told a white buddy of mine a couple of years ago, man, we were just having a talk, man, and he's one of the people who I appreciate, because we had these open talks about race relations. Sometimes me and him working late at night together, and the comment I made to him is like, man, my face is the face of crime in this country, man. And at the time I was saying that, there was a sketch of a criminal, of a perpetrator on the television. I said, look at that dude, man. That might as well be me. Now, here's the funny thing. Right. Next day, I see the same newscast, right? But this time, I'm seeing it with the volume up. The description of the picture was a dark-skinned white man. I swear this to be the truth. Why is it, man, that I am and you are the picture of crime? Because I think that's part of the root of the problem, that these people see us and they see crime. They see something about to happen, so they react in a terrible way when they don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, honestly wish if I had the answer to that question. It's a very good question, actually. I think it's just conditioning upon conditioning from generations passed on to where we've been villainized. Everything we do is always this but that. There's always a but in there. You know what I mean? And I think we're never given a fair shot. And I think part of the reason is because they really do fear us. They fear when we get our stuff together and we, educate ourselves and create a community. We're very, very powerful, resourceful, creative people, and they want to oppress that and suppress that creativity. So anything they can do to knock us down one by one, I think innately or inherently, it might even be genetic, that they just feel the need to walk over us in any way they can.
Make sure y'all check him out. Go ahead. I'm sorry, brother.
Go ahead. What?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They portray us negatively in the media, put up a mugshot of, an African-American man, but if a white female does the crime, they put up a selfie. It's just the media doesn't help at all. I think we as a people don't help the situation either, as far as, preparing ourselves for situations like this and advocating for each other. And it's kind of like we point the finger and say, well, that's not my problem because it's happening over there. could be one of our cousins, our brothers, our sons, you know? And that's the sad part about it. It could happen to any of us at any given time.
Yeah. Yeah. Make sure y'all check him out on all social media platforms at DJ Rasta Root and the website smokingshells.com.
Correct.
Let's talk about the evolution of hip hop, man. You've been in the game for a good minute, man. And the game is taking a lot of different turns, from the Sugar Hill Gang to the infusion of like the gangster rap, and then you had Biggie and Pac, and then now it's something else going on right now. You mentioned kind of the way black people and black men present themselves, and I think, to me, there's a lot that goes on in hip hop that trickles down to the youth of this country, the black youth of this country. Give me your take on that scenario, the evolution of hip hop, and how it may or may not contribute to some of the ways we're perceived as black men in today's society.
I think it definitely does. I think the problem, is that a lot of the artists that do have a voice don't use it at the right time. They usually use it once something's happened.
Yeah.
And they make all this music that promotes partying and, like, you know, frivolous behavior, negligent behavior. And then when it is time to, like, you know, rally the troops, then they want to make a song. So, like, for example, Jay-Z just put out a song I saw online yesterday, and it's kind of like, okay, you make a song, but what is that going to do? I mean, where are your speaking engagements? When are you going out to the community and reaching out and helping, you know, the youth that don't have fathers around, helping have us create a support system for them? You know, like, we just want to just party, and then when you're partying all the time, no work's getting done. It's happened when we were in college. It happened when we were in high school. You know what I mean? Like, when you're partying, you're not getting any work done. So it's not going to be any different in the situation, because all the music that's popular now and that's considered like urban or pop is all promoting partying.
Yeah.
And then when you're not partying, what are you doing? You're sleeping because you're tired. So our generation and our movement is severely slowed down because everybody's too tired to actually put in the work that it takes. You know, if we put in a percentage of the work we do in posting, you know, on Instagram and posting memes and Facebook posts, and we're to actually take the time to reach out within our communities. And you can't change the world, but you can certainly change people in your neighborhood. You can help guide, you know, kids in your immediate surroundings. And not many people do that. And even if they do, it's never exalted. It's never, you know, applauded. You don't hear about it. But I think there are people that do things in the community, but it's almost like frowned upon. It's too cool. You're too cool to, like, help, you know? And if you do, you don't really make a big deal about it. So it's a problem, I think, created by a couple generations back when, you know, kids were raised without parents, and those kids end up having kids, and then, you know, something's got to change. So I don't know what does, but something does.
Here's another thing that, as far as the hip hop culture, here's another change that I noticed, and I saw a documentary. I think it was called Fresher Than Me, a CNN documentary, and it talked about how how clothing used to be. Like, it was cool to look like the people that you were in the neighborhood with. But now everybody's talking about Versace and all these European designs. So the Sean Johns and the Carl Kanais and the Pele Peles and all the urban the people who grew up in these neighborhoods that were creating clothes, you know, no pun intended, for us, by us, have kind of been phased out. What is it about us? What is it about the hip hop community that says, in order for it to be better, it has to be different?
As far as, like, our use of our economic resources?
Yeah, exactly. The fact that I'll go pay $1,000 for this Gucci belt, but if my brother made it, I won't even pay $50 for it. Right, sure. That's a big problem. You know, you see it a lot with, like, even within our community. You know, we go out and spend money on Beyonce tickets. No disrespect to Beyonce. Sure, yeah.
But then when you have your buddy or your neighbor trying to support, your support is probably going to come in the form of liking what he or she posts or reposting, and that's the extent of it. It's very rare. And it's actually refreshing when someone says, you know what, hey, I want to support what you're doing, you know? Because when you use your economic power to what's the word I'm looking for, to
uplift,
empower, you know, your community, it's a very very impactful movement that can be created, and we just don't do it. We always, it's the crab in a bucket mentality. It's, well, if I help him, he's going to be better than me. And, you know, as opposed to saying, you know what, if I push him forward, once he gets there, he's going to help me up when I'm in need of help. Right? So I think it's the mentality. It's everyone for themselves mentality. You know what I mean? For us, basically. You know, we do it for ourselves, and that's that. And we don't want to share. We don't want to share the knowledge. We don't want to share the information that's out there. We just want to like keep it and hoard it for ourselves. And again, that's learned behavior. I don't think we're created that way.
Yeah. Speaking right now with world-renowned DJ, manager of Tribe Called Quest, and the late great Phife Dawg. He's DJ Rasta Root at DJ Rasta Root across your social media platforms. Let's talk a little bit about your history with Tribe Called Quest. I want some stories, my man. At least a story, man. Give me something, because I saw the documentary, but give me a story that not a lot of people know about your times with Tribe Called Quest.
Oh man, I think there's so many. You know, the funny thing is, obviously, for my age group, you know, I'm a huge fan of music in that era, and of course, Tribe was one of those groups that really kind of like was very mysterious to me. And then when I started working with them, or working with Phife, and then working with them, it was very surreal. I call it like my little hip hop fairy tale. You know, like
word.
I'll just be sitting in the room and you just hear stuff, you just hear stories, and you're there and you're like, wow, this really happened. Or you hear like what you might have read in the source back in '94, and then Phife will tell you what really happened. You know, so I got a really good firsthand, you know, account of one of the most legendary. I mean, to me, one of the most legendary rap groups of that era. You know, if not ever. You know, and there's so many, you know, counts of stories. I mean, the most recent one was actually after Phife passed. We were at Tip's house, and you know, it was after the memorial at the Apollo Theater. So, you know, I'm just at the house chilling, and then who's there? You know, I'm just gonna run down the list of people that was there. It was like Jack White, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, Passion De La, Queen Latifah, RZA, Andre 3000, D'Angelo, a couple other people, and they sat in the studio. It was a small like control room, and they were just talking about kind of what we're talking about now, like empowering ourselves and artists helping other artists, and the power that we wield that we're not taking advantage of.
Yeah.
And that energy in that room was just really, really crazy, to the point where it was like 4 a.m. Latifah had to leave at like 6, and she kept leaving the room, saying she said all her goodbyes, and she would just come back like for an hour, and she was like, I can't get enough of this. There's something about being here. Energy is just crazy. So that's kind of a microcosm of what I say is when we put our heads together and form like Voltron, if you will, it's an unstoppable force. And the more people that realize that, the more people that align themselves with other like-minded people, or even people that think differently, will come together and plan and forge forward. We are a very, very, very powerful source of energy that is totally underutilized and underdeveloped.
Word up. What are you listening to now, man? We're talking about music, talk about all this classic music with the De La Souls and the Tribe Called Quest. You mentioned Queen Latifah, like those conscientious rappers that we came up with. But what are you listening to now? Like what when you hear a new artist now, who amongst the new artists do you listen to and say, okay, I'm with that. I'm good with that?
Sure. The new artists that have impacted me, it's funny, I'm listening to less and less rap than I used to. If I listen to rap, it's the older stuff. A lot of the new artists, you know, of course, the Joey Badasses, I like them, but I'm not a super fan where I know their lyrics and stuff, you know. But the artists that I'm really listening to, actually a year ago, I started listening to The Internet and, you know, their Naked Pink Ladies album, and then Ego Death earlier this year or last year. And then now I'm listening to Anderson .Paak on repeat. His mixtape album Malibu is, I mean, just from a musical standpoint, and he's like the singing Kendrick to me. Like, he can sing and rap, and he just has a good feel with his music, his song structure, his musicality, and what he speaks about. Somewhere in there's a message, and I think nowadays musically I'm looking for a message and how creative an artist can be to create music that entertains you from a dance or a listening standpoint. But somewhere there's some type of message that a message that's kind of subliminally being implanted in us, and we need more of that. We need more of the people to make music that has a message, not for people to say, "Oh, damn, his music has a message," but more so to just feel it. Next thing you know, you're kind of like charged by listening to their music, and I think that's lacking a lot.
That makes sense. He's DJ Rasta Root at DJ Rasta Root across your social medias. Make sure you check out his website as well. SmokingShells.com. You started off saying that you don't listen to a lot of rap these days. Now, I read your bio, man. You're not just like a, mix and scratch and do. You're like a real ass musician, man. So if you're not listening to rap, what are you listening to?
I mean, I listen to anything across the board. Really, like I'm heavy into world music now. Mm-hmm. So anything from Brazilian baile funk to salsa merengue, Afrobeat, dancehall reggae, anything that has like instruments and like getting back to the drum and the percussion and how that moves us and how that moves your soul, where you could just hear a drum pattern and it moves you. That's actually a rhythm in itself, or a melody in itself. And I think that's what I'm kind of like gravitating towards lately. So not necessarily any artist in general, but just any music that has that sound.
Word. So that's why I like talking to dudes like you, man, because I'm not a musical dude. I just whatever's hot, I bob my head to it. You know what I mean? I don't fight it. I'm not like, oh, this just crap today and everything was good 20 years ago. I'm not really that guy, man. Here's something else I need to know from you, man. Why is there no hip hop Hall of Fame? I know like Run DMC and Public Enemy, they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But when I think of where hip hop has evolved from rap to this culture now that we now know of hip hop that includes our verbiage, our dress, our haircuts, our everything. I think there should be a Hall of Fame for that. And the DJ should have a place in a hip hop Hall of Fame. The mogul, the fashion designer, or the filmmaker. These people should have a place in the hip hop Hall of Fame. But why hasn't that come to be?
I absolutely agree with you, and I think, unfortunately, if it were to exist, it would people who would only watch BET would see that. It still would be, I think, isolated to our community, unfortunately, whereas the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has more of a global appeal.
Okay.
It's going to take some of those artists who have first of all, the financial power and the voice, because people follow them. So if, I'm not even going to say Jay-Z, but anybody of that caliber who's kind of, quote-unquote, made it, or to get together like they did with Tidal and say, hey, let's create a hip-hop Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? If they were to do that, but they're too busy partying. They're too busy traveling and, generating their own income and just talking about their income to take the time, because they in their head, they want to be rock stars. And where do rock stars go? Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So it's unfortunate, and I think that's, to them, that is the top of the mountain, is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because they all claim to be rock stars, whatever that is.
And in the meantime, missing out on so much. Like there was a time in hip hop where like the DJ was sort of the front man. It wasn't Rakim and Eric B. It was Eric B and Rakim. It wasn't the Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff. It was Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. And I think we're seeing a little bit of a resurgence now with guys like Drama and Khaled and a couple of DJs being the front man now. How do you feel about that new resurgence now, the DJ becoming the headliner now?
I think it's great. I think it's long overdue. I think we are the sole controllers of the party. We are the people that move the music. We are the ones who break the artists.
Absolutely.
We're the ones who tell people what's cool and what isn't. And I think a lot of people have looked at us over the years, especially because with the advent of the ease of becoming a DJ, they look at us as like iPod DJs or jukeboxes, or, oh, I could play that on my iPod or whatever, So it's like, we have to take that back. We have to, as DJs, we have to embrace and honor the craft and make sure that people know the distinction between a DJ and a DJ that just had $600 and could buy the equipment and just play.
Tell me about that. Let's get into that, man. Tell me about real DJing, because I have a little console back there that I play around with at the crib, but I know I ain't no damn DJ.
Yeah, and I appreciate you, recognizing the distinction. I respect that way more than someone who says, yeah, I got some gear, I can spin, and then it's just like, and nothing against controllers, because I have them
Trust
too.
Me, dude. I know
but it's more so like, just knowing the history. You don't have to be a vinyl DJ, but know the history, know what an acetate, know what a dub plate is, know how it's created, and just learn it. Like, more than anything, just learn it and honor the craft and give the craft credence, because there are a lot of super highly technical and talented DJs out there that can literally manipulate the turntable like an instrument, you know, and it's almost like an old jazz musician that's blowing on the trumpet or the flugelhorn, where they're doing stuff that you can't even, you know, imagine. And there's turntable technicians, not just turntablists, but DJs in clubs that can manipulate sound and move people. And that's a very like powerful thing to be in a room with 300 people and be able to overall, not everybody, but overall be able to move people in the direction you see fit for the night. Absolutely. You know, it's not easy to do. You can't buy that.
Absolutely. He's world-renowned DJ, manager of Tribe Called Quest, and the late, great Phife Dawg, DJ Rasta Root. He's at DJ Rasta Root. Tell me about the process, though, because back in the day, I used to hear about dudes who wanted to become DJs. They had to attach themselves to an actual DJ and lug around crates and, you know, do all the grunt work and set up the equipment. But now, you know, you kind of show up with the console, sit it down, plug in, and you're ready to rock. How does someone that wants to become a real DJ, someone who appreciates the craft, how do they get into that space?
I think the best way is to network. Like find someone who is open to teaching you, a mentor, if you will, and you kind of step in that role of like an intern or just a mentor, not just, but a mentor. And then that person, you know, before you go and invest your money, kind of gives you like gems and tidbits and allows you to like set things up and get a feel for it. And, you know, through their experience, you can learn a little bit before you go and invest. Because you know, it can be a lot of money to just go ahead and just invest. So I've done that with people that have wanted to try it out. And if I feel like they're serious and the vibe's there, I'll let them hang out and let them kind of, you know, see what we do when we're in the booth and give them access to the other side, if you will, behind the DJ, looking at the crowd. And it's an invaluable experience. You know, even when I still go out and watch my friends play, I still learn stuff. I don't think you ever stop learning your craft, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Tell me about Smoking Shells, man. Tell me about how that came to be and tell me about what's going on with it now.
Definitely, yeah. So Smoking Shells is a high polished aluminum DJ turntable head shell that I developed and released. And basically the head shell is what holds the cartridge and stylus that goes on the record that plays. So my head shell is polished aluminum, so it looks almost chrome. Okay. You know, it's reflective, so anything that's shone on it, it reflects off of it. So it's really cool in club settings or pictures. What I've done lately is I've been able to like laser engrave branding on there. So I'll do like the Red Bull Freestyle ones. I'll do like if you're a DJ and you have a name, I'll take your logo and put it on the shell. And the good thing about that is, you know, DJs love to see their name, number one, just off of ego. Number two, it's great branding. Number three, if it's highly unlikely someone's going to steal head shells with somebody else's name etched into it, you know? So those are my 3 key points. And I felt like, you know, I've been DJing 27 years, I think, this year, 27 or 28 years. It's not something I want to do actively as far as in clubs for a lot longer. So I felt like, you know, this craft, this culture has given me so much, the ability to travel, the ability to meet, you know, people like Phife and his group and other groups and tour the world. I felt like I would figure out a way to give back to the culture, but also not only give back to the culture, but also give me the ability to exercise, you know, my business savviness or, you know, my business acumen and research, develop, and launch and promote and, you know, make the world know about this product, you know, without having $4 million in promo budget. You know what I mean?
No doubt. No doubt. I got one more thing for you, man. I appreciate you taking the time to join me, especially in light of everything that's going on this week. He's DJ Rasta Root at DJ Rasta Root on all your social media platforms. The website, you can get those, what they call? The shell?
Smoking shells, head shells, yep.
What are they called? The thing that you engrave. What did you say they were?
They're called head shells.
Told you I ain't no damn DJ. Head shells. To get your head shells, your chrome-looking head shells, go to smokingshells.com. That's SMOKINSHELLS.com. I got to ask you about songs in the key of Phife. Tell us about that real quick before I let you go.
Sure, certainly. So, you know, Phife from a Tribe Called Quest passed away March 22nd this year, and, you know, one of the album titles that he was thinking of over the years was one called Songs in the Key of Phife, a playoff of Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life. We ended up calling his album that's going to be released called Give Thanks, but that title always stuck in my head. So once he passed, I felt like I would put together an event, a community-based event that would promote the awareness of chronic kidney disease prevention. And I titled the event Songs in the Key of Phife, or I titled the movement that. So we've done one in Atlanta a few weeks ago, and we'll be moving to different cities and really just engaging our people, our African-American brothers and sisters and Latinos, to get screened for kidney disease and to be able to prevent it. So we partnered with the National Kidney Foundation to help us with that endeavor. And, it's something Phife was very keen on doing. And so I decided to take that as one of my projects and one of my philanthropies to help carry on his legacy, his name, his music, as well as help, my fellow brother and sister.
That's some good stuff, man. Like I said earlier, man, I appreciate you taking the time out to join me tonight. I appreciate your insight on the recent events as well, man. I wish you well and everything you got going on.
You too, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thanks a lot. You guys have a good weekend, and I'll be at Face Off Fridays at MJQ tonight.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to do that. Thank you, man. Tell us everything you got going on, man. Where you going to be at MJQ?
Yeah, I'll be at MJQ. We are doing, we do every second Friday, we do an event we've been doing for the past 11 years. This is our 11th anniversary. It's called Face Off Fridays, and it's myself, Job Prince, hosted by Rasta Root. It goes from 11 to 3, and it's at MJQ Concourse off of Ponce de Leon.
There it is, man. DJ Rasta Root, y'all appreciate you, my brother. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too, man. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
No doubt.
Wow. That was the best of One Mic with Big Mike.